taking time out of your evening to join us for our Earth Day virtual workshop. We're really excited that you're here, and we just want to kick things off with a little bit about who we are, what we do, and then kind of what our goals are for this evening. So to kick things off, Northeast Beef Promotion Initiative extends nationally developed.
Turn it off. You don't need to watch it.
I want to watch it. Callie's in it.
Joe?
Apologies. As you're joining, if you can just mute your lines, we'd greatly appreciate it. So as I was saying, our Northeast program extends nationally developed checkoff messaging and content into the Northeast region. So you'll see there on the screen, we work Maine to Virginia. We have a lot of people, a lot of population, but not a lot of cattle. So there's not a lot of state beef councils to share that information, which is where our program steps in. To put some context to that, within the Northeast region, people outnumber cattle 14-1. That's almost the complete opposite of somewhere like South Dakota, where Scarlett's joining in from. So we just like to give that statistic just to kind of bring to life kind of the information gap. With that, we just want to go over a few ground rules to make this evening as successful as possible for all of us tuning in and joining, as well as for those who tune into the recording later on. So just an FYI, this workshop is being recorded for those folks who weren't able to join this evening but want to catch it at a later time. If you're able, please leave your camera on. We want this to be an interactive experience, and we are going to have open Q&A at the end of the workshop, but please stay muted and we'll prompt you when it's time to either unmute, or at any time, if questions come up, please just use the chat function to ask your questions, and I'll kind of monitor that. I've also noted some of the questions that you all had when you registered for the workshop, so we'll be sure to get those addressed as well. With that, I'm going to move into kind of our goals for this evening. So you all are aware that this is kind of centered around beef's journey from pasture to plate. So we're really excited to bring to you information about that, as well as celebrate beef farmers and ranchers' commitment to sustainability. So with that, we're going to have an interactive farm tour that our junior beef ambassadors have worked extremely hard over the past few weeks, recording videos and bringing that all to life for you all. And then we're going to round things out with a live Q&A. So with that, I just want to introduce our featured speakers for this evening. So if you've tuned into our workshops in the past, we typically have 1 to 2 featured speakers, but this evening we're excited that we have a large cross-section of junior beef ambassadors from across the Northeast region, as well as those in South Dakota, who have worked hard and recorded video clips on their own farms and ranches to bring beef's story to life. So with that, I'm going to admit the last few people, and then we're going to get started with the farm tour video that the ambassadors have worked on. Like I said, if you have any questions as the video is playing, please just type those into the chat in real time, and then we'll follow up with Q&A at the conclusion of the video.
Hello, my name is Brennan Elty. I am a junior beef ambassador from Northbridge, Massachusetts. The journey of raising beef is among the most complex of any food. Due in part to their changing nutritional needs, beef cattle usually change hands up to 3 or 4 times over the course of a few years as they go through their various life stages. Within each stage of the beef life cycle, farmers and ranchers care for their animals properly to ensure a nutritious, high-quality protein for the consumer.
Hello, happy Earth Day, everyone. My name is Priya Brown, and behind me are some police coppers from our herd. Today, I'm going to tell you about a little about from the part about breeding of our hound calf operation. We breed about around 55 cows in maternal, which means putting them with the bull and pasture, letting them do this job. Out of 10 to 25 cows breed artificial insemination. Both are herding bulls and night bulls are selective eating data known as cow epigenetics, EPD. EPDs help us improve the next generation of cows by selecting bulls with traits such as birth weights, weaning weights, and yearling weights. And carcass traits, such as modeling the by area. We start breeding our cows a
Why are we using
and
plastic
the cows
forks?
start hitting the ground about 3
I
days
don't want a
later.
plastic fork. Do you still want a plastic fork?
Make sure they stay healthy and stay in good flesh condition during the winter months and when they get close to the calving. My sister Mace is going to tell you about calving on a farm. Thank you and have your birthday.
Hello, my name is Mr. Brown, and this is Daisy and her new full calf that was born last night. He doesn't have a name yet and weighs between 80 and 85 pounds. That's about the average birth weight of calves in our herd. When a new calf is born, it is very important for them to nurse and get colostrum from their mother calf. Colostrum contains antibodies that will help this calf fight diseases and prevent infections. It is our job to monitor the calves to make sure they are nursing, eating, and not showing any signs of sickness so they can stay healthy and grow. We check for new calves every morning before school. All of our calves have ear tags to help us quickly identify them. Every farm has a different method of writing ear tags. We include the calf number, birthday, as well as the sire and the dam on our tags. This makes it easy for us to make sure the calves are with the correct mama, or if the calf isn't thriving, we know right away who its mama is, so we can troubleshoot the problem. Our cows and calves are on pasture from this time the grass is ready in the spring. We spend a lot of time with the herd over the summer months, making sure the calves are growing and developing properly. The mother cows and calves are rotated from pasture to pasture, so they always have plenty of grass. Moving the herd from pasture to pasture always gives the time for grass to regrow. We also provide free choice minerals for the entire herd, and the calves have access to grain from a creek feeder. Creek feeders are designed to allow the calves in, but keep the cows out. The calves are weaned in November, and by that time, they usually weigh between 550 and 600 pounds. We keep some heifers as replacements to breed and put in the herd the following year. The bull calves are castrated and sold to the feedlots. And that is how our family contributes to the beef industry. At that time, they weigh between 450 and 700 pounds. Get on the farm so they can become mothers when they're about 2 years old.
Hi there, I'm Jalen Van Nuys, Northeast Junior Beef Ambassador. And here at my family farm, Blue Dog Farm, we raise beef. So calves will be weaned, and then they'll come here to graze on grass and grow. And sometimes in the winter, we'll feed them stored grasses, like hay. Farmers will also provide minerals. For example, in our mineral cart, we have clay, salt, and baking soda, and more, so that cows can get whatever they need whenever they need it. Calves will also grow up on their farm where they were born, and sometimes they may go to other farmers where they strictly background calves.
The livestock market has been a hub of the cattle industry for as long as I can remember. A day or two before the sale, we'll start receiving cattle, and then on sale morning, then trailers will start showing up. Usually our guys are here at 6:30 in the morning. People, farmers and ranchers will bring their cattle in, they unload them. There's a state vet that inspects the cattle as they come off the truck. We feed them and take care of them like they would our own, you know.
Hello everyone, I'm Callie Miller here with Scotty Miller at the Masonic Village Farm, and today Flip and I will be asking you a few questions.
Yep.
So our first question, who else do you work with to keep these cattle safe and healthy?
We work really close with a local nutritionist. It's actually Adam Zurin, and we also have a herd vet that we work closely with to look over the health of the animals to make sure we're taking care of them that way. And also, we work with an agronomist to help us on the crop side because we grow our crops that we in turn feed to the cattle here.
What do the cattle get fed, and how many times do you feed them a day?
We feed our cattle a TMR, or total mixed ration, here at Masonic Village, and that consists of, right now for us, corn distillers, dried distillers grain, some cracked corn, and we use some liquid molasses, and then we have a vitamin and mineral pack that we put in that as well, and then corn silage and some barley silage. And that all gets mixed up to make a nice ration that we have here today.
Our final question, what is the basic principle of the feedlot?
The basic principle of the feedlot is to bring cattle in and have them in a closer area that we can watch them closer and feed them and to get them to eat more and to grow meat. Yeah, and I missed the question from the last one. We feed twice a day here at Masonic Village.
All right, thank you for your time.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm very proud of this operation, but probably most proud of the people. We've got a very large, diverse workforce here. People come from all over the world, and they take a lot of pride in feeding the world. My name is Jason Poole, complex manager, Tyson Fresh Meats, Dakota City Beef Complex, which is in northeast Nebraska, right outside Sioux City, Iowa. We have 4,200 team members that work here at the plant. That consists of hourly workers that are actually working on the line, breaking down the carcasses. We do have a large group of specialized positions dedicated to food safety quality assurance. We have dedicated safety team members, dedicated ergonomic team members. We also have folks dedicated to animal well-being, ensuring that we're doing right by the animals entrusted to us.
With my team, the Office of Animal Wellbeing, we design the facility with animal safety in mind. We want to receive the cattle at a processing facility. The cattle are typically penned, ensuring that the animals are healthy before they go up to the processing floor. The measures and procedures that we use for food safety, they encompass a lot of people, a lot of programs, a lot of scientific validation work. Food safety is one of our top priorities in this business, along with human safety of our workers. In the last 20 years, the amount of detail that goes into measurement and testing of our food safety performance has dramatically increased. There's hundreds of thousands of tests that are completed each year.
instrument grading has just come along within the last few years. The way the carcasses are graded, we cut between the 12th and 13th rib, and the instrument will actually lay on top of that 12th rib and take a picture of the ribeye. So the camera and the instrument is actually measuring the amount of marbling within that ribeye and also taking a picture of the back fat, which goes into the yolk rate calculation.
Many of us eat the product that we produce every day, and we feed it to our friends and our families. This is what America is, and I just really enjoy it.
Raising cattle has been part of my life since childhood, and it continues to be. I have 4 young kids, and we have a small farm with cattle and sheep, and we have chosen for that lifestyle. Animals just really are part of my everyday, whether at work or at home.
If I was to ask people to rethink one thing, I would want them to maybe rethink how much work, how much dedication it takes to get an animal from farm to plate. So we're pretty proud of that.
Beef is shipping sold in the United States and abroad for grocery stores and restaurants. Operators take steps to provide people with the safest, most wholesome nutrition products. Hello, my name is Duncan Call, and I'm your junior beef ambassador. Today, I wanted to take some time to interview my mom to see what it's like to be a veterinarian. Hey, Mom, what's it like to be a veterinarian?
Thanks, Gunther. My name's Dr. Jody Cull with Valley Mobile Veterinary Service. As a beef cow veterinarian, it's my job to ensure the animal health and well-being of our animals for our food supply to keep it safe and healthy for our consumers. Part of that involves making up a herd health plan and also some standard operating protocols for our farmers so we can help prevent disease.
It is very important to prevent disease. How do we prevent disease?
Well, Gunther, there's a few things we can do on farm. Biosecurity is extremely important. We can also vaccinate for our most common causes of infectious disease. Parasite control is also part of our routine health care. And finally, we can make sure that they're eating a balanced diet to meet their nutritional requirements.
What happens if they do get sick?
Unfortunately, even though we may try to do everything right, sometimes an animal does get sick. If we do need to treat an individual animal, that animal is separated, identified, and then a strict meat withhold is followed for any medications we might get. We might even need to make changes to our herd health plan on the farm.
I love riding with you when you have to deliver baby calves.
You know, Gunther, that's my favorite part too. Sometimes we do have emergencies and I might need to help a newborn baby calf be born. Then it's a lot of fun.
Thanks for talking with me today, Mom.
You're welcome, Gunther. Thanks for asking a couple questions. Just one last reminder to remind you that it is our producers and our farmers work together to create a safe and healthy product for our consumers. Have a great day.
Bye.
I'm Colin Miller, and I'm here with Adam Missouri Nutrition. I just have a few questions regarding your job in cattle's nutrition. Would you mind telling us what you do and what your job is exactly?
I'm a beef cattle nutritionist. I cover southeast, south central Pennsylvania and some parts in Maryland and Virginia, mainly specializing in feedlots. So getting in those 6, 7, 8, 9 weight steers and getting them pushed out to harvest area, either at local sale barns or through the major packers of Cargill, Tyson, or JBS.
So nutrition is obviously a very important part of a cow's growth. Can you explain some of the basics of it and its importance?
So, Miss Village, they have a brood cow herd, and then they also have a feedlot. So the nutrition on the brood cow is certainly different, where we're looking at long-term health and longevity. So the raising the heifers up, we're going to go with slower growth and try to develop some frame and growth and frame on those cattle, so that way they're ready to calve at 2 years of age. And then also on the brood cow side, we're just going to be mainly a hay ration or maybe some barley silage if we need to stretch the hay, just to cover them over the winter months, and then over the spring and the fall It's going to be mainly grass. Then the feedlot's going to be significantly different, where we're going to do higher energy rations, so we'll increase the corn. So that'd be the combination of corn silage, corn distillers, which we use as a protein source, or urea as a protein source as well, along with the mineral and vitamins. So on the feedlot side, we're trying to be efficient and also push the performance on the cattle, so that way they're more profitable back for the operation.
And the final question, can you explain your role in the beef life cycle?
So it's in the beef life cycle, trying to work with the operations to try to increase that efficiency and to be more profitable. In order to be profitable in the cattle business, it's a combination of genetics, management, and nutrition. So we're I'm overseeing the operation just to see if there's things that we need to improve on to improve the efficiencies of the cattle. From a life cycle side, as I said earlier, on a brew cow side, we're looking at longevity, long term. Feedlot's kind of more short term. We're trying to get cattle in and out the door as quick as we can, and still having a good product that's still going to go with a high quality grade, so choice and prime, and then also with a lower yield grade. So we don't want over conditioned cattle, but we also don't want cattle that are underfed and not going to meet those quality grades.
All right, that's it. Thank you for your time, Adam.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Evelyn Butterfield. I live in Southwestern Pennsylvania, and I'm a junior beef ambassador. Today we're going to be talking about BQA, or the Beef Quality Assurance Program. For example, this here is a heifer of ours named Salt. We're using a cattle chute, which keeps us safe and her safe. Also, we administer needles to the neck, which is a part of the cow where nobody gets. It also keeps her safe too. Also, we use a sharps container, so nobody gets poked when putting it in the trash or the trash man when he's collecting. Also, BQA teaches the importance of identifying a cow, maybe using a tag, or even some large steers use a collar. BQA also teaches the importance of keeping records of outfits, animals, and all they need. These records make sure cattlemen know when the animals are vaccinated or bred. That way they can keep a special eye on them during the last days of their pregnancy. BQA also supplies special protocols for animal welfare. Sometimes we even issue special hugs and kisses every day. Protocols, especially ours, include certain things about transportation and the living and welfare of the animal. It's important to remember that the BQA certification is earned and cannot be bought. Every farmer that has a BQA certification that each farmer was trained and was deemed worthy of the certification. The certification also makes sure that consumers are confident and sure about their purchases, knowing that the beef and animals that they're eating are raised safely through the whole lifetime. BQA also teaches the importance of making sure you raise your cattle in a healthy and safe environment. BQA teaches about cattle care and herd health. Herd health means that you take care of your whole herd and have good management. BQA teaches the importance of a stress-free environment throughout the whole cow's life, including making sure you have food and water at all times. Also making sure they have a reliable shelter. BQA, with many other things, also teaches the importance of keeping the environment around you healthy. For instance, we're only using the manure from the barn during the winter. This is to help grow plants and some trees. As farmers, it's also our job to give back. For instance, we're going to use this little area here with the reused manure to plant food for the food bank. Another important environment rule is to keep your creek bed fenced off. cows can't destroy it, and so all wildlife has a place free, especially also wildlife that lives in the area. In addition, VQA teaches the importance of planting flowers for other wildlife like monarch butterflies, which is what we're going to be doing this Valley here. As a BQA certified farm, we rotationally graze throughout our field. This helps take the carbon away and re-put it into the soil, making the environment cleaner and the air better. Also, every year my family plants 15 to 20 trees, which helps clean the air. This one was actually just planted today. And these are all things that BQA teaches farmers, and they're all very important. Out of all the things BQA teaches, I'm pretty sure animal welfare is most important, although all of it is pretty important. I'm sure Chuck here probably thinks that getting enough food, well, a little bit extra food is the most important part. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you learned a few things about the Beef Quality Assurance Program.
Hi everybody, my name is Scarlett and I'm a South Dakota Junior Beef Ambassador. Today I'm going to show you around the ranch. Let's go. The job of a good rancher is to make sure the cows have good food to eat, like corn that we give them day and night. And hay that we give them to eat in the winter. This is the tractor that we feed our cows with and harvest our crops. When the grass grows and it's warm enough, we'll load up the cows in this trailer and then take them to the pasture to eat the grass. This is my cow Ruby, and she just had her calf like a few days ago. And these are all the other mamas. They had their calf, and that mama, that little cow, she's drinking from her mommy. These are our bulls, and they're really friendly, like this one. He's the one that licked my hand. Thanks for coming on my South Dakota ranch tour. Bye.
Hi everyone, my name is Ella Stiefvater and I'm a South Dakota Beef Ambassador. I live on a small farm near Salem, South Dakota, where we have a pretty diversified operation, raising both Angus and Hereford cattle, but also sheep and goats. Our weather here changes really often, especially in the southeastern part of South Dakota. We see a variety of weather changes. Just this week, we had a 65-degree day. Yesterday, a blizzard, and today it was back in the 40s. So it's constantly changing, so keeping up is really a chore. My favorite part of being a young beef rancher has been the fact that in South Dakota, we're such a community raising beef and being a part of such a great industry within our entire nation. So that's really been the most exciting and important part of being a part of that for me.
Hi, I'm Riley, and I'm going to show you what calving season is like in South Dakota. So every night we put a bunch of calves in here that are about to calve, and then as they get closer to calve, we put them in here, and then they have their calves in here, and then they stay in here for 1 to 2 days, and then we put them in another barn for 1 to 2 days, depending on the weather, and then we turn them out to pasture. So this is our calf warmer. So if a calf is cold when he is born or born in the snow, then put him in here. And then there's a little heater in here that helps them warm up quicker. And then after that, when they get warm, then we turn them back out to their mom. So the cows that are calving are put out there to food and water during the day, and then we put them in the barn at night.
Hi, I'm Destiny.
Hi, I'm Zach, and today we will be going over beef safety.
Beef safety has such a large range of topics, so Zach and I picked out a few important ones to go over.
From farm to farm, everyone plays an important role in beef safety.
Almost every farmer can agree that raising healthy animals is one of their top priorities. For most, their livelihoods depend on it.
The following are important factors that play a role in animal care and safety: facilities, genetics, nutrition, health management, humane slaughter, and quality assurance.
For most beef animals, their lives begin and end in your facility, so making sure you have the proper safety measures in place for every stage of their life is important.
Take the time to research the correct equipment that you will need for your cattle, especially taking time to learn how to use it.
Well-designed and maintained handling facilities are essential for the safe handling of cattle and prevention of injury to handlers.
A lot of accidents result from simple trips, slips, and falls. It is essential that handling areas should be kept clean and tidy at all times.
Farmers and ranchers spend significant time and resources ensuring the genetics they select for their herd will improve the overall quality of the beef they are raising.
Beef nutrition and efficiency begins on the farm with genetic selection. We know that some breeds' genetics contribute to more tender steaks, while other breeds of cattle are known for qualities such as calving ease, growth efficiency, or producing more muscle mass. From a sustainability perspective, different breeds are better suited to certain climates and available resources.
Crossbreeding allows cattlemen and women to create a breed mix that combines the strong points of one breed to offset the weaker characteristics of another. This important focus on genetics contributes not only to animal performance and improved quality, but also to the sustainability of beef.
Nutrition also plays an important role in beef safety. Everyone has a different opinion on what they want their cattle to eat, and that's okay, as long as they're getting the diet they need and deserve.
The diet of beef cattle contributes to the efficient growth of the animal and the production of wholesome, delicious, and nutritious beef.
Cattle spend most of their lives grazing on grass, and some continue to graze solely on grass their entire lives to produce grass-finished beef.
But most beef animals, approximately 95%, are finished on grain in a feed yard.
A variety of feed ingredients are used to help optimize cattle nutrient intake and maintain their natural muscle building abilities.
One way the beef community ensures healthy animals is through working with veterinarians. Farmers and ranchers form strong relationships with a licensed vet called a veterinarian client-patient relationship to receive authorization to use the appropriate treatment for a specified illness and time period.
Disease prevention is a core element of any herd health plan. This typically includes vaccinating calves to protect them from common diseases.
The beef community is committed to responsible use of antibiotics because maintaining effective tools for cattle health is integral to the viability of a farm or ranch.
Antibiotics are used for three reasons in the livestock industry: to treat sick animals, to prevent or control disease, and to promote growth.
Beef farmers and ranchers are aware of the sacrifice that beef animals make to provide us with high-quality protein.
Humane slaughter begins when the cattle arrive in the processing facility. Cattle are unloaded in a timely fashion to keep the amount of time they are on the truck to a minimum. Drivers assist facility employees in a slow and carefully unloading cattle from the truck and moving them to holding pens where they have access to clean, fresh water and can move around freely.
The walkways, holding pens, and knockbox are all designed with the welfare of the animal in mind. The facilities work with the natural instincts of cattle to move them. Slaughter facility owners and employees go to extreme lengths to ensure the cattle receive high-quality care throughout the process. The United States has worked hard to generate one of the safest food supplies in the world. The U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food Safety and Inspection Service is the agency responsible for ensuring that the commercial supply of meat, poultry, and egg products in the U.S. is safe, wholesome, correctly labeled, and packaged.
Everything that we just discussed above are provided with guidance from the Beef Quality Assurance Program.
BQA was designed for everyone by cattlemen and women and follows FDA, EPA, and USDA guidelines, as well as HACCP principles.
More than 100,000 farmers and ranchers have voluntarily signed up to be part of the BQA, which is a testament to the beef community commitment to animal welfare.
While working on this project, I actually completed the test and classes online to become cow-calf BQA certified, and I learned a lot about the safety protocols needed to successfully run my own operation.
For more than 150 years, America's farmers and ranchers have been in the business of producing safe and wholesome beef to nourish families through all life stages. The goal each year is to continually produce better beef.
A lot plays into food safety with beef. Whether you choose to pick your meat at the store or at your farm, you must refrigerate or freeze as soon as possible. Different beef cuts can determine the amount of time it can safely be stored in the refrigerator or freezer.
Wash hands well in hot soapy water before and after handling raw meat and other fresh foods. Inadequate hand washing is a contributing factor to all sorts of illnesses, including foodborne illnesses, and it is important to follow proper hand washing steps before, during, and after preparing raw and frozen food to prevent germs from transferring from your hands to your meal.
Wash all utensils, cutting surfaces, and counters with hot soapy water after contact with raw meat. All that was discussed above can be found at beefthat'swhatsfordinner.com, and more information about food safety and beef safety can be found there as well.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nala Rodriguez, and I include beef as part of a healthy, sustainable diet. Beef packs in a lot of nutrition for very few calories. Speaking of sustainable, let's talk about cattle. Cattle play a very unique role in our food system. Cattle are upcyclers. They take inedible forage and turn it into high-quality protein. Cattle can digest these plants because they have a 4-chamber stomach. This is why they're called ruminants. And remember, you could always learn more at beefitswhatsfordinner.com.
Callie, what's the average herd size in the United States of beef cattle?
48.
Callie, at what rate do people outweigh cows in Pennsylvania?
12 to 1.
Callie, how many cattle farms are in Pennsylvania?
12,000.
23,000?
20,000.
How many beef cattle farms are in Pennsylvania? 8,800.
8,800.
Callie, do you like to eat beef?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. I hope you guys were able to follow along and that there wasn't too much of a lag there with the video playing. I can certainly send out the link to the YouTube version of that in the follow-up email, but I want to give you all a moment to type any questions you have into the chat or unmute and vocalize them. On the screen, I have compiled some of the questions that were included when you guys registered. So you guys can feel free to your question in the chat, but I'm going to briefly touch on some of the questions that came in during the registration process. One of the questions was, how can I do my part as a consumer? I think that's a really great question because, you know, oftentimes there's a lot of emphasis put on what happens in the process of raising beef, but then not a lot is talked about once a consumer would purchase the product. So one thing, kind of the most obvious, would be food waste and doing your part from that standpoint. So approximately 1/3 of all food produced for human consumption in the world is either lost or wasted. So reducing food waste can really have a big impact and make a difference. A big part of this is just having a plan for the week, whether it's you're going to cook a roast and then use the leftovers to make tacos or something like that. So really just thinking through what you're eating throughout the week and how you can incorporate leftovers into your plan. Obviously, uneaten food wastes all the resources used to get the food to that point, but then also figure if it's going to end up in the landfill, which also has a contribution to the environment. Another one, a few people actually had this one, was how is sustainability defined? So as a beef community, sustainable food system is really comprised of 3 different but intersecting pillars. So social responsibility, economic viability, as well as environmental stewardship. You can learn more about all of these components on Beef It's What's for Dinner, but really I'll just do a high level overview for the sake of time this evening. But true sustainability is really a balance of all 3. Beef farmers and ranchers are dedicated to producing beef in a way that prioritizes the planet, people, animals, and progress. So I think one of the resonating things through all of the ambassadors' videos was really, doing things in an efficient manner and improving upon practices. Adam touched on it, Jody touched on it. If something isn't working, how can we adapt the process to make it more efficient and more productive for the producers as well as the animals? So social sustainability, you could think of things like worker safety, animal welfare, technology use. Economic sustainability would be things like improving rural economies and livelihoods, affordability of beef to consumers, profitability of beef consumers, and the value of the ecosystem services. And then environmental sustainability. This is kind of the most obvious pillar and sometimes the only one that people consider. That's really protecting and enhancing natural resources. So think of things like biodiversity, carbon and water footprints, wildlife habitat, soil health, things like that. Again, feel free to type any questions that you have into the chat. Another question and something that I'm going to touch on in the coming minutes, I have some shareables that we're going to send you all as a follow-up that you can share out on your social platforms as we celebrate Earth Day on Thursday. But another question, again, something that was touched on in the video, was how more efficient has the beef industry become? So the beef production in the United States has a carbon footprint 10 to 50 times lower than other regions of the world. And according to the EPA, so the Environmental Protection Agency, greenhouse gases from beef cattle only represent 2% of emissions in the United States. And between 1975 and 2017, the U.S. beef industry, through continued sustainability efforts and improved resource use, reduced emissions from beef cattle by 30% while producing slightly more beef. This question ties off of that. What practices made that possible, or what practice does the beef industry use to be good stewards? Nala touched on this when she talked about how cattle are upcyclers. So cattle expand the land that is available to produce human food, since they're able to consume and digest inedible sources of protein for humans, but they then create a very nutrient-dense source of protein with beef. Cattle manure also provides important nutrients for soil. Evelyn touched on that during her BQA video segment. And then livestock operations help to maintain and grow grasslands and just the natural resources. And then another question was, how long does it take for beef to get from pasture to plate? So our video series kind of started at the beginning on a cow-calf farm and then ended with beef ending up in either the retail or food service chains, so grocery stores, restaurants. So it takes approximately 1.5 to 2 years. So cattle are typically 18 to 22 months of age when they're reaching that market weight. So those are the questions that we had come in ahead of time, but again, feel free to type any additional questions you have in the chat. For the sake of time, I'm going to move forward and want to share with you all some infographics that we can, or that I will be following up with you on. These will also be posted on the Beef It's What's for Dinner social platforms throughout this week, so you can also feel free to just share them directly from that page with your followers. But here's just a few tidbits, easy to digest, easy to read, just some talking points about sustainability and the beef industry. I also wanted to share a short video clip. I'm also going to send these to you all for you to take a look at, as well as share out if you are interested.
When it comes to sustainability of food, beef's got your back. The cattle herd in the U.S. is 33% smaller than it was in 1977, but we produce about the same amount of U.S. beef. Less cattle, same beef production. This was obtained through better animal health and welfare, better nutrition, and better genetics. To learn more, visit here.
So there's a whole series of those kind of whiteboard interactive videos, which you can share out on social platforms throughout the week as we celebrate Earth Day. So with that, I just want to follow up and kind of round things out. We will be doing or sending out a post survey. So please share your feedback on this event, on this workshop. Give us any thoughts or feedback on topics you'd like to see in the future. As mentioned, I will share those social posts. You can feel free to share them out this week. And we just wanted to mention our next workshop will be Friday, May 28th in celebration of National Beef Burger Day. So we'll be firing up the grill and doing a grilling demo and inspiring you guys with some ideas on how you can celebrate Memorial Day with beef. With that, I'm just going to drop the link to the survey in the chat. And if you guys have any last minute questions, feel free to either unmute or drop them in the chat. If not, I greatly appreciate everybody tuning in this evening. Again, a big thank you to our junior beef ambassadors for all of their hard work, creating those videos and sharing their knowledge and their operations with you all. The link to the post-workshop survey, I just dropped that in the chat. So if you could just take a few minutes and provide your feedback, we would greatly appreciate it. And again, thank you so much for joining and enjoy the rest of your evening.